Hey, all you fanboys and fangirls. This is Derek here from the Geekdom Fancast. This is episode 208, trying to keep the geek train a rolling here. We What are you doing over there?
I got my
Huh? Oh, hey, Puppers is there. Hey, everyone. Anyways, this is Mr. Bobby Bexar. You might remember him from a couple episodes ago, but this is his introduction to our YouTube series now. Now that we are finally on, and he is actually the man responsible for putting us on the wonderful site. How are you doing,
yes.
sir?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
What's Pupper's name?
This is Echo.
Oh, okay. As in Daredevil?
No,
Oh,
but we actually it came down when we were going to go pick him up because he's a YouTube, oh not YouTube, a Craigslist find. It came down to two different names, Echo and Scrappy, and we're like,
not Scrappy.
And then we saw him like, nope, that's an Echo. Look at that handsome dog. Look at that. Okay, yeah. Um, but no, man, I'm good. I'm good. Just got out of the movie, so
And you saw?
Halloween Ends, which wasn't bad, wasn't great. Probably it was better than the other one. It was better than the second.
High
So
bar you got going here.
it was a very low bar set. I don't think I was telling you before we started filming. I don't think since The Matrix have I seen a first of a trilogy that was so good, and then the next two are so mid
Ooh.
that it's like
Yeah, we did an episode for the very first one with our buddy Dana, and that was a lot of fun. And then it's funny, I never went back and watched the other one.
honestly, there's no. I hate to say, but there's no real reason to.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Somewhere Jamie Lee Curtis is like, "What did I do to you?"
well, no, what sucks is like that first one had such a great fight scene between Laurie and Michael Myers, and this one
Not so
it's
much.
okay, but
All right, well, we'll move on for spoilers from that before someone like wants to get mad at us.
yes.
For people that don't know, we know we've had it on the audio version, but for some reason, if someone's just jumping on our YouTube version, and also because you are a YouTube show, tell her you have a toy action figure YouTube channel.
Yeah,
I don't. Is
so
that how you would describe it?
yeah, it's an action figure YouTube channel.
Give the spiel for a little bit.
So it's a toy kind of mood. We just hit episode 95. We we're discussing the Masters of the Universe 40th anniversary. He-Man is now as old as I am. So we talked about that. We're at episode 95. We're on the road to 100. We just hit 1,000 subscribers, which is badass.
How much are you paying them?
People out of India. No.
You offered out free like figures, and people are just like, okay, I'll hit that subscribe button.
Right. We actually did do a 1,000 subscriber giveaway, and it went to a very good home. But yeah, we and then let's see, we're on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I do unboxings on TikTok for a token of mood, and the last one I did was Japanese Spider-Man from Marvel Legends. So I think this might be one of my top figures like of the year, and yeah, I have it on my desk just like in a like Japanese posing.
So
Yeah,
wait, so do you guys just do like new releases, or do you get nostalgic sometimes, or
new releases, when you pre-order, well, ton of pre-orders. Marvel or Hasbro, we do a lot of Hasbro because they do they'll have their they have fan channel on YouTube. So Marvel Legends, GI Joe. GI Joe is actually really big right now because the nostalgia for the figures we had as kids is just the pretty much is the fact that people who when we were kids, if they couldn't have the figures, now they have jobs with money. Now they can get the figures that they want at a much cooler looking style. So we covered those.
Plus when we were kids, all our parents probably threw out all our toys or sold them all. So now we have to buy them all over again.
My parents never did that. I still have my Eternia from when I was a child.
Oh damn.
Yeah, my my parents never threw anything away because my dad's dad had like boxes of comic books when he was a teenager. So he would have had like the first Batman, Superman, Shadow, all that.
Damn.
And when he went off to Korea during the Korean War, his mom threw them all out because she just thought they were trash.
Oh.
So he was sitting on like a few hundred thousands, if not close to a million, of comic books that just
And now they're mulch.
now they're mulch,
Oh my god. That's
gone.
tragic.
And it's yeah. So my dad said after that, when he had his firstborn, he's like, I'm not. So yeah, it sucks. But we were at San Diego, got some really cool interviews with some of the Hasbro marketing team. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it's a really fun show. It's me, Travis, who a good friend of ours.
Hasn't been on this show yet, but at some point we'll have him on. Any longtime listeners of our podcast will remember him. But if you're new to the show, you'll probably get reintroduced to him at some point.
Exactly. But speaking of Comic-Con, and speaking of a little jealousy, you got to go to New York City Comic-Con,
which said Travis Mooney was too good to go to.
Right? I was like, I'm just gonna come home. I'm like, all right.
The man had a free badge to go to New York Comic Con. He was in the New York, Boston area, and decided, nah, I'm not gonna bother.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna go home. Okay.
Well, I am here to tell everyone what a mistake he made because he's insane. Because it was a damn fantastic time. I really enjoyed it. It was my third year going. First year that they kind of like got it all together again, because I went last year for 2021, but it was they sold about half the amount of tickets, or at least that's what they claim. It didn't seem as busy, honestly, last year. They didn't have a lot of panels. The exhibit floor wasn't that packed, but I still had a good time. I think I would have liked it regardless, but I know a lot of it was the fact of it was the first convention I had gone to in like 2.5, 3 years. So I think that had a lot to do with, how
last year?
Huh?
Oh, last year or this year?
Last year.
Oh, last year. Okay, yeah.
But I'm saying, like, yeah. So, like, I think a lot of it had to do with I was just happy to be at a convention again, because I don't count freaking special edition San Diego. That wasn't a real con. I don't care what anyone says. It was not a real convention.
No. And then last year though, was it was a very odd year for cons.
Yes.
Because coming out of the pandemic, people were like, "How do I want to go? Do I? I don't know." And
I still know people that didn't want to come to this one. They're still not ready. I mean, I don't honestly agree with that, but like, I still know people are like, I'm still not ready. I'm like, really? Still?
And that's fair.
No, it's fair, but I'm just like, it's like, man, it's like, I feel like if you're at the point now where you're still not ready, like, I don't know when you're gonna be ready.
Just go get your boosters and you'll be fine.
Yeah, the thing I will say that I'm disappointed in, not in the sense of the general public, but I'm disappointed in New York Comic Con. So when I went in 2021, it was mandatory masks, and they really enforced it like a lot. Like they wouldn't let you in if you didn't have it on, and if they saw people walking around with it not on, they would like say something to you. Man, there was, I'd say 65% of the people at this convention did not have masks on.
Really?
And in that sense, I get it. You can't police everyone, but it was just ridiculous how much people just did not give a crap. And like, and it's one of those, in a way, I'm like, to each his own, everyone should be allowed to do what they want. But the reason it annoys me is because San Diego made it mandatory, and that's 100,000 people, and they were able to make it mandatory. And this one, they put it in the guidelines, if you go to the website, that it was a mandatory thing. Granted, I will give them credit in the sense that they didn't make you have a mandatory vaccination. You didn't have to do the wristband and show a card or anything. You didn't have to do that. But it said on the website that wearing masks was mandatory, and people just chose to ignore it. And I'm thinking, well, if you're going to let people ignore it, then why'd you bother putting it on the website?
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I didn't mind the mandatory vaccination. There we go. I'm not blinded by my light anymore. Um, I didn't mind the mandatory vaccinations. I have all mine. I'm about to get my booster once it actually gets back from our cruise.
Yeah.
Um, but like it was weird going to San Diego because I wore my mask like for the most part at the airport, except when I was at the bar, but I wasn't near anyone.
Right.
So I wasn't near anyone. So there was that, and then on the plane I wore it. And having a beard and wearing a mask, this is like it gets hot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then at Comic Con, I didn't mind it per se, but carrying all the equipment on my bag because I carried the camera, my
Yeah.
camera, the all like the mics, the tripod, like all that on my bag. Um, it did get to you, and I remember after the McFarlane signing, like I got both, and I'm like, oh, I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. Ran outside and ripped off my mask, just like took like deep breaths, and because it was
Yeah.
just it was starting to get like just stifling. And especially because I know they had the AC on full blast, but it felt like they didn't have any AC running in the sales. It was
Well, yeah, because it's at that top level and it's so hot up there. Like that's sales
yeah.
is always the hottest set level. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, I'm like, I am, and like, you would hear on the PA, San Diego welcomes you, but please remember to wear your mask at all time. And it was annoying because I would watch people, wear their mask, but like this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you do realize that your nose is connected to your lungs as well. Like you know basic biology. Like you breathe in through your nose. Like it's just
They even had at New York, they had people stationed all over the convention, not just the exhibit floor, all over the convention, and they had volunteers holding box of masks to give people. But it's like that's not making people wear them. If you're just going to sit there with a box thing like, here, wear this, like, no, they're not going to do it. Like, you got to, and like before in 2021, they, like I said, they wouldn't let you in the door. They made you like be wearing when you come. And this one, they weren't doing, they would say
at
it,
San
but they
Diego.
didn't stop anyone.
Right at San Diego, they stopped you.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
remember one time I didn't have my mask on and they stopped me. I'm like, what am I? They're like, no, mask. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Like, I'm like,
Yeah. So,
oh,
I
mask.
mean, like I said, I'm not trying to advocate necessarily that people shouldn't have free will. I'm just saying if you're gonna bother to make it a rule, make it a rule. If you're not, then just don't even make it a rule then. Like it's pointless to like to and try to enforce if you're not gonna enforce it, what's the point? So
Yeah,
anyways.
exactly. That's true.
But me
Right, so
personally, I had mine on all 4 days. I'm
good.
that many people, that close quarters. Everyone
Oh
else
yeah,
wants to
no,
take risks. That's fine. That's your business. Cool. But I'm trying to not walk out of there getting sick. And, you know,
no.
I would rather, and I guess it's because I've been wearing it for so many years now. It really doesn't bother me. You take it off for pictures, put it right back on, whatever and stuff. But, um, and, the funny thing, well, I don't know if funny is the word, but, interestingly enough, a lot of the, giant autograph, photo area they had for the celebrities, there was like 5% of celebrities wearing it.
Really?
Yeah, and you would think celebrities would be more careful because they are dealing with so many people, one
Yeah,
after another. And I guess a lot of them just didn't care. I mean, that's again their business, but it was interesting to me that even the celebrities were like not worried. So
interesting.
yeah.
I don't actually. I don't think I wore my mask at Comic Palooza.
Well, you're in Texas.
It's true. I mean, it's true. Uh, but yeah, it hasn't been mandatory here since 2021.
But no, it was a you know what though, it was a really good time. Like a lot of people talk to me about like, if anyone listening doesn't know, so I live in the West Coast in San Diego, and that's a long ass flight. You got to pay
Mhm.
for a hotel, food, buying stuff there, whatever. And it sets you back, but man, fantastic time. It's they do a really good job there. I mean, it's not perfect, of course, by any means, but uh they do a really good job of having a variety of uh different comics, anime, movie, TV,
Yeah.
They have tons of panels. They have two big rooms. They have main stage and the Empire stage are two really big rooms. They brought a lot of celebrities out this time. They had some really there's a digital version that you can buy so you can watch the panels if you miss them. And I'm actually probably gonna go buy it because there's so many panels I missed because just time and like you can only do so
Yeah.
much. But they had some like speaking of course they had a Jamie Lee Curtis was interviewed by Drew Barrymore for Halloween Ends.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that
Yeah, so I it was the artist alley is the biggest I've ever seen in my life, and I've gone to my wonderful fair share, and I've gone to San Diego for almost 30 years, and this artist alley
yeah.
is just ginormous.
When you showed me the who I was gonna be there, I was very jealous. And honestly, I won't like if my sister was still living up there, because I might have gone.
Well, yeah, because like the lodging on top of the air, I mean, it's all money. Like
Yeah,
if you knew like, oh, all I have to do is pay for a flight, of course you probably would have went.
yeah, because like, because right now, like she still works out of New York.
Oh,
Yeah,
but she's
but
not in New York.
her office has been letting her, work remotely.
Yeah.
So she's been living with my parents for the past 2 years.
Okay.
And so she's just been like saving money. Like,
But like you said, if she was there,
hey, she's there. I'm like,
she live in Manhattan.
yeah.
Oh damn, yeah, that would have been perfect.
Well, she's actually they don't have a place right now. She and
No, but
her,
when she did.
yeah, they were the West Village.
Okay.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah, one
it's
of the
and it's also like yeah, that's one of I mean, granted, it depends where you get your hotel, but that's also the fun thing of New York versus any other con is you don't have to worry about parking. You just
true.
take the subway or you walk or whatever, so you don't have to worry about
Yeah,
traffic. You don't have to worry about parking. You just
true. Well,
drop off
I'd
and
say
go.
when you were at San Diego, you stayed with your dad where you're at right now, and you just drove down, right? Or did
No,
you have a?
remember we got a hotel.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, that's I always get a hotel with Greg or Dominic or like
Oh, that's right. Duh, you did. That's right.
yeah. Remember you and I stayed at didn't we both stay at the Hyatt one year?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's one.
But I did for the first, I don't know, 15 years I went. Yes, I would go for my dad's house there because I didn't have any friends. No, but
Talker.
I had friends, but not ones that were willing to get hotels. And I always wanted to do that. And the
Yeah.
first year that I did, I'm like, oh, I'm never going back because as much as it costs a lot, people are like, oh, it costs so much. I'm like, yeah, but there's nothing better than just rolling out of bed and walking to the convention center. It's like, oh my God. And then when you're done with a full night of partying or going to the gas lamp and eating and stuff, and then you just walk back to your hotel room, it's priceless. It's
I
perfect.
mean, that's this because 2016, 2017, we stayed at the Hyatt and one of the other ones right there on the ocean.
Right. I remember. I don't remember the name of it either, but I remember that when you stayed at. Yeah.
Yeah, and those I love those. This time we were at La Quinta, I think.
Yeah. La Quinta, I think, or was it called?
Yeah, it's La Quinta, and that was like I think maybe a little under a mile away from the con.
Yeah.
And honestly, I walked back. I mean, it was like what 80. Okay. It wasn't bad. The only time I ever took an Uber, actually, the only time I ever Ubered,
The airport.
the airport. Well, yeah, because you can't walk to from the airport. But I think it was that Friday. That Friday, Lance had a bunch of stuff for that he got from Mattel and from me too. He got me my 2-pack. And he's like, hey, if you take this, I think I gave him it was 85. I gave him 80. And I was like, I'll just get the Uber. And he's all right. Yeah. And at first he goes, I'll get the Uber. I'm like, no, I'll just walk back. I get like 100 yards. I'm like, this is stupid. I'm getting an Uber. Like I'm getting an Uber. It was like $6. I ran it up, put it down, changed shirts. I was like already like sweating, and then ran back to the con and went along my merry way. All right. So what panels did you get to see?
Oh, I was just gonna say real quick. I just want to say like I know it's silly, but like in comparison thing. So yeah, you're in New York, and like in October, totally different weather.
Oh yeah.
Although it's funny, the first 2 days or whatever, the Thursday, Friday, it was hot as hell. I mean, not as in like, West Coast hot, but it was like in the 75, 78. in October for New York, that's hot. But it didn't really matter because you're indoors. And
For the viewers listening, I'm staring at Derek and Texan. That's not hot.
I'm saying it's hot for New York.
No, I know.
Yeah,
That is
in
hot.
October.
That is very hot for October. That is very hot for
But
October. I'm sure you
I
had
mean, it's
like
the thing is the place they have at the Java Center is it's completely enclosed. So it's not like you're doing offsites like in San Diego and you're not broiling up standing in line for, the House of the Dragon or whatever, offsites or whatever. So like it's all enclosed and stuff. And so a couple of people actually asked me, they're like, all those people though, because I took some pictures and I posted them up and showing how crazy crowded it was. And they're like, isn't it hot in there? I'm like, I was fine. Like, I can't comment for anyone else, but I was fine. So I don't know if they just pumped the AC really well or just me personally, but I never felt like sweating to death or anything. I was completely fine. But it's, I think part of the thing is also, so Saturday and Sunday though, it got into like the 60s. It was like 65, 68. It was cloudy outside, and I think that really helps keep the convention center cool when it's already cold outside. So I'm just saying in reference of instead of trying to be a meteorologist here, but it makes it really kind of a nice thing that it's not, not that San Diego's insanely hot, but the nice cool weather of New York is also nice.
Also, New York does have. I mean, when it's hot, it does get hot because of all the cement. It does it gets a little toasty.
Yeah.
And then in November usually you're dealing with like in a month it'll drop down to like the 20s.
When I left on, I think it was because Saturday we went to a Rings of Power panel at the Paley Center in New York, and when we got out of that, it was like I think like 9:30. Dude, it was cold.
Really?
I'm like, holy crap, it's cold. I'm like, winter is here.
Let's see here. Looking at AccuWeather right now in Houston, it is 75. It will get into the 60s tonight.
Yeah.
Ooh, there we go. Yeah, the next, let's see here, daily. What's the lowest we'll get? Oh, next Tuesday we're gonna get into the 50s.
Look out. What? Well, anyways, we're done being weathermen.
We were never good weathermen. Okay, so all right, so the panels, dude. Like what did you see?
I didn't get to go to that many because like as we'll get into probably a little bit later, but I did a lot of focus on comic book artists this year. But I tried to hit up a couple. One of the ones I was really excited for just on a purely like saying New York did some really special ones is so they did a Star Trek reunion one for Picard season 3.
Yes.
So they brought out all the big guns, Jonathan Frakes, Brent Spiner, Patrick Stewart, of course, people's names that I probably should know that I don't know, but you know what I'm saying. Think of everyone from Next Gen, Michael Dorn, like they were all there on a stage together. I can't think of when that's going to happen again or when the last time it did happen. I'm sure there's some huge Star Trek nerd right now that could tell us when it was.
True.
But I loved having them all up there. That was to me freaking awesome. Like even though it was only for a half an hour, because so what they did is they did an hour and a half panel, and they did a half-hour block for Discovery. They did a half-hour block for what's the animated one?
Lower Decks.
Yes, so they did a half-hour one for that, and they did a half-hour one for Picard season 3. And they dropped trailers for all 3 of them. For Discovery, they only had a couple of cast members, but they had Sonequa Martin Green did streamed in, which this is something San Diego screws up on that I don't understand how they don't do. So San Diego I've always seen them do just like little screens, or they put screens on people on the side or whatever, New York used the giant, huge screen of the Empire Center, like, the size of a movie screen to put SMG up on the thing. So her entire, conversation, she's on this giant screen looking over everyone. And it's funny because when someone else on the panel was talking, she's just sitting there like chilling like this. But you see enormous SMG like right in front of you. And I'm like, why doesn't anyone else do this?
Yeah, it's true.
All H should do that.
They should.
Yeah.
They should. Now you saw the whole Star Trek? So you saw like Discovery, you saw the Lower Decks, and you saw Picard? Okay.
Yeah, I had to leave about 10 minutes before the Picard one ended because I had to run to my Kristen Crook photo op.
Fair.
And I wasn't gonna miss that of it, which it ended up sucking because I probably could have stayed. They were running behind the whole time, and I probably could have stayed that extra 10 minutes. But I mean, honestly, you know what my cue was to leave when they went to audience questions.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I'm like, all right, we're gonna do audience questions. I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm out. See ya.
Yeah.
One of the fun things I got to go to. This isn't necessarily a panel. So they did an advanced. I think you watched Stranger Things, right?
Mhm.
So I think you'll love this. So they did an advanced screening for Violent Night.
Oh, did they really?
Yes.
So you
Full,
so you saw the whole movie?
yes, full, not no clips, not no first 10 minutes, full thing,
How
all
was it?
hour and 45 or whatever it was.
We're really actually not really excited about watching it.
It is freaking fun. It
Is
is
it?
damn fun.
Okay, cool.
um, but David Harbour and John Leguizamo came out to introduce it, and then that was it. But they gave us, I don't, sorry, people. They gave us, I hope that doesn't fall. Hats.
That is cool.
They gave us Violent Night hats, and they're
That
like
is
blood,
very
yeah, they're
cool.
like blood splattered.
That is very cool. I dig that.
So I took some pictures and I put them up on our Twitter and stuff too because it was really funny. Because oh, and they also had a what would you call them? Christmas carolers.
Yeah.
So they hired and it wasn't just some random group. You actually like go out and look on their they have a Twitter page and everything. So they had an actual legitimate Christmas caroling group. It was like I don't know 8 people or whatever, and they probably sang about 8 to 10 songs before the movie started. So everyone's sitting there wearing Santa hats, and they had these Christmas carolers busting all these Christmas songs, and I'm like, what is going on? It's October and it's almost Halloween. What is going?
That is cool. I do like that.
It was, but I filmed a little segment for it. I put it on our Twitter. I'm gonna probably put some more on our Instagram page or something. But it was very. I'm not a Christmas person, honestly. I will. That's not something we need to get into. But it was. I thought it was really smart of. I believe it's Netflix. I should know this. I think it's
I
Netflix.
don't.
Huh?
Is it Netflix?
I think. Anyways, someone's gonna shoot me. Um, but anyways, that I thought it was a really smart promotional idea to like get if you're gonna like bother to premiere this movie for your crowd, well, let's go all out and get all festive and stuff. So yeah, it was really a good time. And the movie, the most simple because a couple of people have asked me how it is. Simplest way to put it is if you don't like crazy uh bloody violence with dark humor, you're not going to like this film. So that's the easiest way to put it. It's very violent. There's a lot of brutal bashings of heads or very brutal fight scenes and stuff.
Right.
And the humor is not for the squeamish. So there's not a lot of likable people honestly in the film. So
Is
if
Santa at least likable?
yeah, so if that's not your cup of tea, this isn't for you. Now, if it is, I thought it was a good time. Like the story is simple, basically Santa Claus, played by David Harbour, is doing his hopping around, doing homes and stuff, and he stumbles across this one home owned by some very rich, wealthy people that get taken hostage by John Leguizamo and his crew, and he's stuck in the house that they get apprehended or taken hostage in, and for reasons I won't bother to say, but he gets stuck and he can't leave, so he has to decide how he's gonna either help the people or save his own skin, or like either way he has to deal with the whole situation. And it's a lot of fun. It was really good fun.
Yeah, I've watched the trailer twice and I can't wait for it. I really can't. It looks like it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And then the other, oh, I went to a panel for The Peripheral that's gonna be on Amazon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, done by Lisa Joy and her husband Jonathan Nolan from Westworld. Ooh yeah. They didn't show its first episode, unfortunately. I was really hoping for that. They just gave us a trailer and a couple clips, but it looks very trippy. Did you ever see Strange Days? Ray Fiennes?
No, I didn't.
Okay. It's one of my favorite films of all time. It's in my top 10. Here, no, there. But well, you actually read, unlike me. I guess it was made by a book by William Gibson.
I saw it was based on a book. I haven't read the book though.
Well, I don't know if you know who William Gibson is. I guess he's well known. I know someone's probably laughing at me right now. You don't know who William Gibson is,
Yeah. No,
huh?
I don't know. I don't know him.
Me neither.
But I know the peripheral. I think it dropped either this week or next week, or going to drop next week on Amazon. With I think it's next week because Rings of Power ends
Tonight.
this Friday.
Well, it ends tonight, but not that anyone's gonna know what tonight is. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah, exactly.
this week. Well, let's say this week.
Yeah, this week. But I know the peripheral has
Chloe
Chloe
Grace Moretz. Yeah.
Yes.
But my point is a Strange Days. So if anyone that has seen Strange Days, I don't want to say it's a ripoff because they're saying that this, that William Gibson wrote his version and stuff and everything. So for all I know, I would need to research Strange Days where they got their inspiration from. I actually don't know because I saw it so long ago. But it's basically very similar to where they have a like squib claw thing that you put on your head, and then it makes you get transferred to a different world, time, whatever, whatever time and place you choose, and then you're immersed in that world. And that's pretty much the exact same thing as Stranges. And then of course it's all the negative and pros and cons and things that happen with that.
This
um
cast is amazing.
yeah.
Ralph Fiennes, Angela Bassett, Juliette Lewis, Tom
Oh,
Sizemore,
Stranges, yeah, oh yeah, it's a
Vincent
fantastic film.
D'Onofrio, Catherine Bigelow,
I think it was
directed
her
it,
first movie she directed, actually.
and James Cameron was one of the
Produced it.
writers.
It's when they were still married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. It was not one of her first movies.
Oh, my bad.
Because remember she did Point Break.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So second movie?
It's actually like her fifth.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I saw her other ones then before that. I knew a Point Break, but I don't think I knew the other ones.
I forgot Point Break, but it was let's see here. The setup in '78, Love the Loveless, Near Dark. I didn't know she did Near Dark.
I didn't know she did Near Dark.
Near Dark, New Order, Blue Steel, Point Break, Wild Palms, Strange Days. Then she went to TV and did Homicide.
Blue Steel. Wow. Speaking of Jamie Lee Curtis.
I didn't know she did K-19. I didn't know she did Karen Cisco. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I forgot about Karen Cisco.
But anyways, yeah. So my only problem is it seems like it's a ripoff of Strange Days, but like I said, it seems like it was already an entitled property by this William Gibson guy, so I'm not going to call it a ripoff. But
Gotcha.
if you have seen Strange Days, it looks extremely similar. The only difference is also it looks like the to where Strange Days was set in kind of like, I don't know, a bad future LA. Like it was like set in like, the crime is rampant and everything's really bad. Well, not things are swell anyways, but you know what I'm saying? Like, where the police force is really, kind of running things and stuff. This one is more set in kind of like a sci-fi utopia kind of thing with like, huge giant buildings and flying cars and stuff or whatever.
Oh.
So there are differences, but they're also similar. But it looks good. It looks good. Yeah. They gave us. Oh, I don't have it on me. They gave us some really cool posters afterwards, which was very nice of them. But yeah.
Very cool.
Yes.
Any other cool panels, or was that it for you for New York?
That was it for me. Like I said, there's so many I missed. They had one for Weird Al Yankovic's movie. They had one for Back to the Future with Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd.
I saw a video of that, and it legit broke my heart.
Yeah, what happened?
Well, just seeing how bad Michael J. Fox has gotten with his Parkinson's. Like he could not, like they had to have a helper walk him out.
Oh wow!
And then like Chris Floyd came out and he stood back up and gave Marty gave Doc a hug.
Nice.
And you're just watching it and you're like, oh
man. Yeah, I tried to go. I tried to go to that panel, but it was one of those ones that like, so they do. If people don't know, so they do a lottery system for New York Comic Con, kind of similar to San Diego, but they do it for panels, and San Diego doesn't do that. So basically, you're able to you get your amount of credits or whatever, and you can select to be part of put a reservation towards a panel to where you're pretty much guaranteed, like, as long as you get there in a reasonable amount of time, as you can go to reservation line and get ahead of all the other people on the side, the standby line or whatever.
Yeah.
Not to say that if you don't get a reservation, you can't get in. I know plenty of people that done it. I've done it myself. It just makes it a lot easier. But my point is that the Back to the Future one, all when I got to it for the lottery, the tickets were already gone. And that was one of those
Gotcha.
ones like I just didn't want to fight the crowd, honestly. I'm like, I bet there's gonna be so many people lined up, and I'm like, I'm not gonna get there 3 hours early to try to get into a panel. I'm not gonna do it.
No, I understand. Yeah, but
But
no, that video did break my heart.
yeah, they had one for you. I thought of actually. They had one for the Winchesters for the first episode.
Oh, dude,
Your
I
girl.
hope that's
She
good.
wasn't there though, but
Yeah, I hope it's good though. That I hope is good. I hope Walker is the new one is gonna be good.
oh, with his parents or whatever.
It's no, it's like said 100. It's like his like said 100 years in the
Oh,
past.
Jesus. In the
It's
past?
yeah, it's setting up like Walker's the Walker legacy.
Isn't that what this one is?
No. The Winchesters are Sam and Dean's parents.
Oh, okay.
Walker, Texas Ranger, which Padalecki's on, they're doing
Yeah.
a prequel with like his like ancestors.
Oh, okay.
I
What's
just
the one
dude,
that Jeffrey Dean Morgan's coming on then? A regular Walker? The one that's on CW?
I guess so.
Oh, okay. Because I know
I
they
guess
made a big deal about him showing up. Shows you how much I'm reading it. Where's Damian Holbrook? He knows all this stuff.
The only like I was gonna watch Walker, and then my mom watched it. My mom was like, no.
No. I watched like 6 episodes. I thought it was awful. I thought it was unwatchable. I love Lindsay Morgan, but it was terrible.
My mom was, was like, and she was like, as a Texan, he should have done a better job at this.
Well, they shoot in Austin, don't they?
Yeah, they shoot like outside of like Austin.
Yeah.
They've actually had a production company reach out to my parents to see if like they could like use their house if it was available. My parents were like, yeah. They never ended up using it, but
they might come back.
They might come back, yeah. But yeah, it's one of those things where and I don't know what happened with Jared, but he used to be a good actor, and now it's just he's kind of it feels no, it's nothing against him. I just feel like he's phoning it in.
Yeah. No, I just love that. It's like he used to be a good actor.
He used to be a good actor, but no, I've watched clips and it's like, ooh.
Just to finish. I mean, this is stupid, but like the ones I missed. So there was a Muppet one I missed.
Oh, you didn't go to the Muppets?
Well, the thing is like they did all these. Here's a good actually this is a good context for people to know. Anyone that's gone to San Diego Comic-Con will know that Sunday's kind of a dump off day. Sunday doesn't really have much on the schedule. There's not really a lot of good stuff. It's kind of like a day that you just shop around or you try to maybe hit up some offsites, whatever, right? New York Comic Con doesn't do that. They still go full all out on Sundays. So the Winchester's panel was on Sunday. The Weird Al one was at like 5:00 on Sunday. 5:00 on Sunday.
Really?
Yes. For Weird Al with Daniel Radcliffe in appearance on stage, 5:00 on Sunday. So the Muppet one was on Sunday. The Oscar Isaac one. What?
No, the Muppets, that's the one with Josh Gad, right?
I guess I didn't go.
Okay.
I know it's for what their upcoming show. They have an upcoming show.
Yeah. I think it's Josh Gad. I think Josh Gad is doing it.
But like, yeah, they have the conversation with Oscar Isaac. That was on Sunday. So my point of all this is like, Derek, why are you bringing this up? I had to leave on Sunday. My flight was on Sunday. So I had to leave at like 4:00 on Sunday to get on the train, get to the airport, blah, blah, blah. So all this stuff, like, there's no point in getting in line for a panel that starts at 3 or something, or panel starts at 4. If you got to get going, there's no reason.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's crazy. Like Sunday is not a dump off day. They still, have plenty to do and everything. So this has happened to me actually 2 years in a row now, because last year they had What We Do in the Shadows on Sunday and I ended up missing my flight.
Did you really? I don't remember that.
You don't? Oh,
no.
Well, it's not because I went to the panel. It's because I got bad directions and took the wrong subway. But I'm just saying in the sense of like something cool on a Sunday. So in the future, I'm flying out on Monday. Screw it. I'm going to pay the extra $200-$300 for a hotel room and just stay. It's like, it all comes down to like, if you stay another day, it's more hotel room and stuff, whatever. But it's just, this is the second year in a row
that I paid extra $200-$300.
Huh?
How much did you pay for a hotel room?
Which time?
This time.
I think I paid I split it with a friend of mine. I think I was paying about $150 a night, because I think it was like $3 something a night for where we were staying.
God.
Yeah, but we were in Manhattan and we're literally like 5 minutes walking distance from the Java Center. I mean, it's like prime real estate where you want to be.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, so the year before, I stayed at a Super 8 motel in Jersey and it was like $100 a night. But it
I
was a
mean,
pain in the ass to get to. And I had to take a bus every day just to get to the convention, then get out, take a bus back to go through the Lincoln Tunnel or whatever to go back to Jersey. Yeah.
yeah.
It's worth it to pay the money to just walk.
No, for like an extra 50. Yeah, that 100%. Yeah.
I mean, the difference was, see, last year I was by myself, and this year I was not. I had a roommate, and it makes all the difference. When you know you don't have to
Yeah.
pay it all by yourself, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I couldn't afford $300 something a night by myself. There's no freaking way.
Plus, like this year at San Diego, got in with Lance. I didn't have to pay anything, so yeah.
Well, yeah, like I said, it makes all the difference on what your circumstances are.
Exactly.
My point to all this, to anyone that's gone to San Diego and you haven't done New York, Sunday is not a crap day.
Okay, there we
They
go.
go full out. Sunday is just as, kind of wonderful. I would say Sunday was better than Thursday, maybe even, because they had bigger names on Thursday. They didn't really have that. I don't even think I went to a panel on Thursday. They had like some comic panels and stuff. Like McFarlane had one for his toys, and they had a couple other ones, but there was nothing like really that big. So Sunday was kind of, yeah, better. So
Yeah, the only thing that I really saw, because I was following some of the comic book news coming out of New York. The you showed me the Joe Quesada going back to DC, which I think is
mhm.
interesting. From what I read, he's only going to be doing the covers as
But
of
still, it's
right
like his first work in years, right?
now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because he was the head at Marvel Comics for like a decade plus.
yeah.
Um, Actually, it was almost 20 years where he was head of Marvel. Um,
That's
and then
actually what I talked to him about.
what's up?
That's actually what I talked to him about.
Being head of Marvel?
Well, just because like, so I told him, so, well actually, this is a perfect segue. So my you and I think we might have talked about it on our San Diego edition. I don't know or not. But so my main emphasis this year of 2022 has been comic book artists and writers.
Yes.
With the passing of George Perez, Tim Sale, Neil Adams, like, I'm just like, bro, you got to get on meeting these people. Like, I honestly, I met a lot of them when I was like 18, 19 years old when I was a kid, but I
So
barely
many
remember
years
them.
ago, so many decades ago. It's like, oh, how do you remember that long?
Exactly. Like, or like I still have a lot of books to get signed, and like,
Yeah.
or like I want to get pictures with them now and stuff. And like so many reasons, or if anything, I just want to, like, I remember Joe Quesada fine, but I wanted to see him again.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen him in a very long time. Well, actually I saw him at Stanley's Memorial of all things, when they had it at the Egyptian.
Mm,
Or no, sorry, the Chinese, not Chinese. The Egyptian's the one
yeah.
that Netflix owns. At the Chinese, I saw him, I talked to him for a bit. But this one, he had a table in the artist alley, and I just went up to him. I said, "Look, man, I remember when you were doing X Factor in the Ray, and you were in Artist Alley at San Diego Comic Con, just sitting at a table by yourself or whatever, and I'm like, I don't collect that much anymore, but when I did collect, you were one of my favorites, and I still can look at your work, and I still love the crap out of it. And I had the Daredevil trade. You and I were talking about a minute, the Daredevil
Yeah.
trade. What would you describe that so people know what we're talking about?
It so it's a trade. I mean, it is a trade. It's a hardcover trade.
Well, like, how would you describe the story?
Oh, that
Death of what's her
is
face?
what's up?
Is it just say death of what's her face?
No, well, I mean, it is. It's the Kevin Smith reintro. It's the Marvel Knights.
There we go.
There we go. So, real quick, comic book history. Daredevil was failing in the '90s. They weren't really sure what to do with it, and so Marvel took a chance and gave Joe Quesada and Jimmy Palmiotti kind of free reign to reinvigorate 4 books.
Mm.
And they did the Marvel Knights lineup, and it was Daredevil, and it was Quesada, Palmiotti, and Kevin Smith.
Hmm.
You had the Inhumans with, I want to say it was either Jay Lee or I think it was Jay Lee. Jay Lee did the Inhumans. You had Doctor Strange with Tony. I think it was Tony Daniel, either Tony Daniel or Tony Harris. I can't really remember that. And then you had Black Panther with Mark Teixeira.
Oh, I love
Chris
Mark.
Christian. Yeah, Mark's
And he
great.
was there, and I didn't know he was there until I found out later. I found out later, our friend Lisa posted a picture with him. Like, damn it, I know he was there.
Yeah, I've
He
actually.
wasn't in the
Oh, and
artist alley. He was at some random comic booth.
sorry, and Punisher with Garth Ennis.
Okay.
That famous run. But yeah, so that's what kind of made Quesada like he ran Marvel Knights. All those books became blockbuster hits because they were great because you had amazing writers and artists on it, and that led to him being put in charge of Marvel. He was the EIC for damn near 20 years.
Oh wow, just because of that run? Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, that's cool.
they're like because Marvel had this is in the midst of the Marvel bankruptcy in
Right.
the late 90s, and they were able to kind of salvage it because Marvel Knights did and of course X-Men. But yeah, Mark Teixeira is a great. I actually have a Wolverine sketch by him. It's amazing.
I need to get a sketch. I don't have any. I have so many books signed by, but I don't have a sketch.
I got a sketch. It was amazing.
I saw him at San Diego 2-3 years ago. Well, taking out pandemic, I think so. 2019, I think I saw him. He was. I found his booth or whatever he had, and I bought a trade book of his. It was called Art of Mark Teixeira or whatever. And
Right.
when I was collecting hardcore, he was one of my favorites. I mean, I would still say in the sense of like looking back, he's still one of my favorites. But I'm saying when I was in my prime
Yeah.
of collecting, his Ghost Rider run was amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
But well, just going back real quick. So like, I just went to Kassan. I just told him, I said, you were one of my favorites. I saw you become editor in chief, and like, I just want to say, I know this, you're not there anymore, but I just want to say congratulations on your career, everything you've accomplished. Just nice to see you again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just loved your work so much. And then it's funny because I asked him, I said, are you going to be doing anything else in the future, or what are you doing? I told him, I said, I don't want to be invasive. And he's like,
Yeah.
and the funny thing is, he said, I have some stuff coming out very soon. He's like, you'll see it. And then literally the next day, you sent me the link for its cover
Yeah.
thing. So
Yeah.
I think he probably purposely was at New York to drop that.
Yeah, probably. I won't lie. I like Quesada's earlier work more than his later work. I feel like his characters have gotten like too bulky and big. And
Well, it all depends because like I like his X Factor work more than his the Ray work, but like at the same time, like I like the Daredevil work more than, remember that book he had, Ash?
yeah,
Yeah,
that
like,
is true.
huh?
That is true.
Yeah, so like I like his work from Daredevil more than that.
Yeah,
So it's all like his, like the thing is that's cool about his work is almost always know when it's him.
he has a very like there are a few artists that when you see you're like, I know who that is.
Another one I definitely want to jump at, Arthur Adams.
Yes.
Yeah, and he was there. I finally got my Fantastic Four signed by him.
Which one?
The one with Ghost Rider, Hulk. Remember they had that little,
Oh, that Fantastic Four. Gotcha.
yeah, when he did those. It was just a couple issues, but like
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't get a chance to get him. I don't know if you remember. So I didn't get him signed at San Diego because it was Sunday, and I kind of gave up that I couldn't find him, and I kind of just gave up that I couldn't find him, and I left the books in my hotel room. And then in
Yeah.
what was it, the last hour you found him?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's like I ran into Dan Slott once at San Diego, and every time the one time I ran into him, I didn't have my books with me. Pissed me off. Although I won't lie, I actually have an Art Adams sketch. It's very like it's just a remark. It's just for a little remark, but on my Fantastic Four number 600, I've got Quesada, Stan Lee, and Art Adams, and Art Adams drew a little thing
Nice.
on it. Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing commissions or sketches and stuff, but like I know every time I saw him, he was just signing books and stuff. So I don't know if he did that on the side or he took him back to his hotel room to do them or what. But he had a sign up that he was. It's interesting that like even I think I could be wrong. I don't know if anyone's gonna be able to fact check on this. I think Casada was even doing commissions. I can't remember, but like a lot of the artists had plaques up for doing commissions and stuff and everything. But I don't see where they had the time to do them because they're sitting there at their booth all the time. And every time I saw them, they had a line and they were signing, and talking to people. I'm like, when do you have time to do this?
So I do know so last I heard, Casada was not doing sketches because people were just flipping them online. He's getting kind of, and understandable, you work hard for something, and then people are. But I think I think that with free sketches, if he's charging now, I think that might be different. A lot of artists will just go back to the hotel room and just sketch, and then just be like, "Hey, I couldn't get it done. I'll mail it to you." And so sometimes I'll just mail it to you.
Yeah.
So
A small little tidbit. I mentioned Arthur Adams. For the Fantastic Four, and I'm like, oh man, I know I love that you did these. Like it was just a couple issues, but it was a fun couple issues. And he's like, I was just trying to help out my friend, and I wasn't sure what he meant. And I looked inside the credits, and I'm like, oh, Walter Simonson wrote him.
there you go.
Yeah.
Well,
So
who, by the way, is a wonderfully nice guy.
yes. Well, funny story. Fun. Why do I keep using funny? Well, I guess maybe funny story. Which remember, Jim Shooter was supposed to be there
Where?
at New York. Remember when we were going through the list?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Never found him.
Really?
I went to his booth or like his table. It had his name and everything, right? Kept going to his handler. They're like, yeah, we don't know what day Jim's going to be here. Went to him again on Saturday. Okay. The guy gave me a card with a booth number. And he's like, okay, if you take your books to this booth number, the guy will get them signed for you. And I'm thinking, what is the point of that? I want to talk to Jim. I want to say hi to Jim.
Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah, it was very strange. So I was polite to the guy. I'm like, okay, thank you. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, I don't want to just hand them off and get them back signed. That's not the point.
Right. No, I know. Actually, I do have a Walt Simonson sketch.
Ooh.
He did because he was at Compalooza. Him and his wife Louise were there, and I won a raffle. I was one of 10.
Is this San Diego or Compalooza or what?
Compalooza,
Okay.
and I was one of 10. And I was able to get he sketched Thor for me.
Oh, nice.
It's really cool. Yeah.
Well,
That's
so
one
go. What?
that and my George Perez sketch. I really need to get.
I hate you for that one.
I know. I get that.
So going off that though, so I know we're jumping back and forth, but so San Diego Comic-Con, can't remember what year to save my life, but I was just this is when I was a huge, just pure comic nerd, right? And I was walking on the floor, just walking around the exhibit floor, and I knew, like I said, huge nerd. I knew what people looked like. I saw Jim Shooter talking to Walt Simonson. They were just on the floor having a conversation. And maybe because I was just a kid, I didn't know any better. I went up to both of them. I said, can you guys sign my books? Give them credit. They whipped out pens right there, or maybe I had a pen. I don't remember. But they stood there and signed books for me in the middle of the exhibit hall floor.
How young were you?
Oh God, I'm sure I was like 17, 18 years old. Because I stopped collecting comics when I was in my early 20s. So
Gotcha.
I'm sure I wasn't more than 18 years old. It's just funny.
I
I always love that story that like, I mean, it goes to show, comic creators are different, but it's just so funny. Like, and I remember too, like it's weird how you have imagery, and I'm sitting there and I'm putting the books back in my backpack that they're giving me. And I'm looking up, and Jim Shooter and Walt Simonson are both sitting there like this, signing stuff. And I'm looking up, and then they're signing my books in the middle of the exhibit with all these people walking around.
That's
Like,
funny.
that stuff doesn't happen anymore.
It doesn't.
So,
it does not.
But I always I hate it because I've never seen either of one of them since. And I've always wanted to thank them for such a great memory.
Yeah. Because I met Jim at San Diego. Very nice guy.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I've never seen him since. Maybe he's been. I just haven't known him.
No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking Starland. No, Jim Shooter. I met him.
Oh, okay.
I met him in Austin a while ago. Actually, that print has his signature on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's a nice guy.
Just to finish for fun, going off of it. So saw Jay Lee, got him to sign a Namor and some Youngblood strike files.
Wow.
Because he did the covers. And it's funny too, because I'm like, I bet you don't see these often. He's like, actually, we do. I'm like, really? People drop these? He's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, wow, okay.
Yeah, I met Jay Lee about 2019, I think it was, and got my Dark Tower #1 signed and my 9/11 tribute signed by him.
Wait, we got to pull it out. We're not gonna do this with everything, but we got to find that one. Oh crap! This is really good context for people. It's really interesting. Um, but yeah, let me just say, I don't want to put too many words in his mouth, but he's not a. I'm just gonna simply say he's not necessarily a fan of the Namor Black Panther.
The movie?
The way they are doing him, yeah,
Really?
yeah. I don't want to put too many say too much, but yeah, he's not a big fan.
What did he say? Was he
But
upset that
there's that.
that's cool?
Wolverine, yeah. Because you know the
Wolverine
thing
Hall.
is like we go and we say hi to these guys, and like granted, it sucks that we got to pay for autographs and stuff now, but at the same time, like I don't even feel right just walking because you know usually most of these guys are only charging like 10-15 bucks an autograph, so it's like I
Yeah.
want to buy some of their stuff too and support them and stuff.
I
Um,
did that with I did that with Jock. I bought his I got his autograph on The
Jock,
Losers, which huh?
Jock,
Jock. Yeah.
who's Jock?
He did you ever read The Losers?
No,
Did you ever watch The Losers?
no, the
Good
movie?
movie.
No,
Huh?
no.
Yeah,
Jeffrey
with
D. Morgan?
Jeffrey. Yep.
No.
Watch it.
Okay.
It's I even and so he did The Losers. He did All-Star Batman. Fantastic artist. Uh but I gave him The Losers and he's like, "Oh, I love this book." I go, "Honestly, the movie came out the same year as the A-Team movie."
Wow.
I go, "Honestly, this was a better version of the A-Team."
Oh wow.
And he goes, "Thank you. I really appreciate it." I go, "No." I go, "Man, no, no." And I got his a print from him because I just the Batman was just too damn awesome. He's jumping. But he got Batman it's kind of like he's like jumping off a building, like capes flowing. He's still in the batter like his batter rope, and the whole back is just white. So he's like floating in air. It's really cool. I need to frame it actually, but
Um, on a I, this is the where YouTube gets you. I have to look something up real quick, but I do want to say so. I wanted to get Kevin Eastman. Line was ridiculously huge. Couldn't do
yeah,
it.
I've met him before. Very nice guy.
Well, no. Here's the thing. Also, apparently, I didn't know this going into it. Um, someone was telling me that at one point, the entire creative team for Last Ronin was at the table together. So you could drop, I forget what it was. I think they said it was 25-30 bucks per book or whatever, but you could have all of them sign it at once. And obviously I didn't know that because I probably would have ran over there and done it. But so I finally got my trade paperback signed by Wes Craig of Deadly Class because I love the movie or the show so much. But that was really important for, and I went and I gushed to that guy forever about how I know he didn't do the show, but I
Yeah.
told him, I said, like, I know you didn't make the show, but I want to tell you that your creation and you know your creative characters, I loved it so much, and I was so upset that it got canceled. And he's like, well, he's like, if you read the book, he's like, you know, it keeps going. He's like, where they the way they were doing the stories, like you can finish it off. And I'm like, well, I mean, I get it, but it's just not, you know, the show's not gonna.
It's not the same.
Did you read it?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Well, the thing that I had to ask him is which character, you know, did you feel that they did, you know, spot on the most? And he said the lead, which I'm brain farting at the note, but the lead for the show, he said like he couldn't have been like the more perfect. He said even the way he spoke and the way he acted and moved and everything, he's like it's exactly how he envisioned how he would be, and he thought he was really did a fantastic job. Um,
Let's see here. Mark was it Marcus Lopez?
what, the actor?
Yeah. No, the character.
I think it's Marcus. Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know Benedict Wong was in there.
Yeah, and apparently they said like Wes was saying, I forget, like either they embellished the character or like he had a way more huge role than in the comics. They gave him a lot more, so he wasn't even supposed in the books. The character's barely in them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he said he was really bummed out too. He thought they did a very loyal and good representation. I got Klaus Janson on my Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, I saw that. Very jealous.
So now it's Frank Miller and Klaus are both on it.
Nice.
Oh, and then big one, of course, that I already showed you, but we'll show the people. So one of my favorite artists growing up was a British guy by the name of Simon Bisley.
Yep.
There's that Lobo print for y'all.
As bad as badass.
Super nice guy. I wish I could have talked to him longer. Funny thing is that because I know he's not going to ever see this, he had to go to the bathroom really bad. So he talked to me for a little bit, and I told him how much I loved his work as a kid and how much I wanted to see him again and stuff, and just wanted to thank him for all his great work and how awesome he was. And he's like, all right, thank you so much, but I gotta go or it's gonna end up in my pants.
That's fantastic.
He's like, but it was so cool. He's like, you can come back. He's like, I'll still be here. He's like, if you want to come back by, we could talk more. And I'm like, okay. And I just didn't get a chance because that art. I showed you pictures. I took some video. I'm probably gonna put it on our Instagram. Just you see how many people were there and how big it was. Like for people that don't know, so the artist alley is so big that they have letters at the top of the aisles for their last names. So it says like A to F or G to M or whatever. Like they have them by letters. That's how many.
Oh, they have them alphabetical?
Yes. That's how many artists are there though, that they have to categorize them by letter, by aisles, so you can find them.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. It's like, I'm saying all this not because I enjoyed it, but if you are a comic person, I cannot emphasize enough how much New York Comic Con for comics is better than San Diego and WonderCon and LA Comic Con or whatever. Like this is hands down the best one for comics. Except I don't know. What do you think? Comic Palooza maybe? I don't know how well you guys do.
No. Comic Palooza sucks now.
Okay.
Like it like this past year was a piss poor representation for comic books.
Because so many people talk about how Comic Con's not comics anymore, or comics have been discarded away, or it's all about TV movies. True, but I'm just saying New York Comic Con is still fully about. There's a lot of comics. The exhibit floor, I will say, the exhibit floor, I did not see a lot of dealers. Granted, the exhibit floor is monstrous, and I barely covered maybe half of it. It's so big. It's just too much. You don't have the time. Like, I mean, granted, if you just dedicated one day or 6 hours to doing it. The thing is that here's one thing that sucks about New York versus San Diego, and I hope they change this. You don't preview night. What do you do on preview night, or what do a lot of people do? You walk the floor. You get the exhibit hall. You see all the booths. You see all the dealers. You get to walk all that, and you get that 3-4 hours to do that, and you can get that out of the way. New York doesn't have that. So you drop that on Thursday when it opens up, and there's panels and signings and everything's going on at once already. So you can't just say like, well, I'm just going to take this. If you take this day to walk the floor, you're going to lose that day, which I'm sure some people can do, and that's fine. But the way it's always worked for me is you use preview night to get that through, and we don't have that.
I've never been there for preview night, so I have to.
Okay, well, you can imagine what I'm saying at least, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so the point, and I was talking to one guy, and I think that, like I said, the difference with this one and 2021 is I think they had only half of the exhibit floor or building open, as opposed to this year where it seemed like they opened the entire freaking warehouse or whatever. Like it just seemed so big. Like I was looking and I looked at, you see all the aisles going, I'm like, God damn, this thing goes forever. And it's wide. It's not just like narrow, it's wide too. Yeah. Not that San Diego isn't, but I'm just saying in the sense, like I said, it's all about having the time to cover this. You don't have the time.
Yeah.
So before we get off, that's pretty much, I think, all the comic people I met. Before we get off of that, though, we have to talk about, I'm going to let you take this one a little bit. This is for you.
Yes, Tom King, Clay, man, I love Batman Superman. I love Tom King's run on Batman. I know it's kind of divisive. I really like Tom King's run. Tom King, actually, if you haven't read it, I have it down here. It's actually an amazing book. Mr. Miracle. And actually, this is this what got him really like well known. So Tom King worked for the CIA.
Oh wow!
And he was having like PTSD like issues, and I think his wife said, "Why don't you write a comic book?" And so he wrote Mr. Miracle,
Okay.
about one of the new gods having PTSD from the war in New Genesis and Apocalypse. So
Did it help him?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it helped him work through some stuff. So like Mr. Miracle is fantastic. Batman Superman is, I mean, Batman Catwoman is fantastic. He did Heroes in Crisis, which was really good. Um, and then Clayman, I mean, Clayman's work is absolutely fantastic. And they do. I need to finish. I have the 12 issue run of Strange Adventures. I need to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
But Clayman worked on that as well. So I think it was Clayman who did. Yeah.
So it's funny because yeah, stuff you know already, but so I texted you when I was in line for them, and I'm like, all these people have Batman stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he
Like
wrote.
every single person was holding Batman stuff.
Well, I mean, and I mean, I could have sent you like Batman number 50 of like the wedding. But I mean, my books. I still have to get that my money back from the post office because they messed it up.
No, but I'm saying it's just it's funny because you're listing all these things that he's done, but
Yeah,
everyone in line had Batman.
Batman. Yeah, because that's
I was bothering
oh,
to look. I was like looking for someone. Does anybody have something else?
yeah.
You know what I got
He
signed? I told you, right?
yeah, Batman Catwoman
No, but
number
for my own.
yeah the Batman Catwoman number 9.
No, that I brought.
What?
Rorschach #1.
Oh, you didn't tell me that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah. I didn't know he did it. When I was going through my books, I saw his name on it. Oh, he did this.
How was Warshak? I haven't read
I
Warshak.
haven't read it. I actually have them all digitally. I bought issue 1 and then I got them all digital from, Mr. Moody. So
Ah,
I have them digitally on my computer. I just haven't gotten around to reading them. And I think it's
gotcha.
done, right? It was only like a limited series.
It was a
Yeah.
limited run. Yeah.
Um, but it's funny that you say all those books that you said. So because I was there, and these guys are there, I'm like, well, I want to buy something to get signed because I'm here.
Yeah.
And it's so there was this guy behind me, and it's like I forget he was like talking to somebody else or something. I was listening to him, and this guy seemed like he really knew his shit. Like he seemed like he was really into comics in general, or whatever.
Right.
And so when we got to the front and they had all their books for to buy, I said, well, which one should I get? And every single one you named, he said was good. You're like, this one's really good. Points at Mr. Miracle. This one's really good. Heroes for Hire. He's like listing everything he said. But it came down to the thing was all the other ones were thick trades or kind of big and
Yeah.
plain room. I'm like, I really need just a good issue man or a one shot because I just it's nothing against what you're saying, but I don't have the room. So he gave me the Batman Catwoman. He's like, this one's really good. So I bought that one.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. The Batman Catwoman run is really really good, really interesting because it continues on with Batman and Catwoman being married, and so Tom King's run actually goes into the future where Batman will eventually die.
Mm-hmm.
And so this takes place both after his death and when they sell Batman and Catwoman, and it deals with a crime or a robbery that Catwoman did with the Joker, and then in the future, it's spoilers, the fact that Catwoman finally kills the Joker,
Oh.
and their daughter Helena, who's the new Batwoman, and Commissioner Grayson, who are trying to figure out like, you know, did you do it? Yes, you did it. Why'd you do it? And she's like, I did it because your father never had the balls to do it.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. And she's like, he should have. He wanted him dead. But I'm doing it for him.
Oh, I just thought I forgot because you're saying Batman Joker. So real quick, just because I know not massive funny story, but so this one really quick. This is Amanda Connor, Jimmy Palmiotti.
God, I'm so jealous of that.
But had to stop by Jimmy because of the Daredevil book that he did with Joe Quesada. Also, like I said, thing going back, guy's been around for years. I remember when I was a kid, all the work they did together. They were the 1-2 punch always for years and years and years. What?
If you follow Palmiotti on Twitter, he'll follow back and he's very responsive. I've talked to him a few times.
Oh shit. Okay, I will do that.
He's
Yeah, Quesada told me he's on Twitter. I'm like, well, where can I get updates on your stuff? He's like, I'm on Twitter. I'm like, okay, I gotta follow Quesada now.
Yeah.
Which is so funny because to think back in the day when I was a huge comic nerd, man, I would have been following Jim Lee, Tom McFarlane, Mark Silva. I would have been following all those guys. Not that I'm
Yep.
saying I follow Jim Lee now on Instagram and stuff, also, but it's just funny. Like I'm thinking about as a 17-year-old kid or whatever, man, I'd be following
I
all
know.
these people.
I know. I know. Same.
Um, but what was it? Oh, the only thing I wanted to say funny about that is I told him, I said about the Daredevil book. I said, I'm like, oh yeah, so you worked with Kevin, was that fun and stuff? I'm sure it's a question he's used to it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, he's like, oh yeah, and I'm like, he's so, I'm like, was it a lot of work and stuff, or I forget how I worded it, but to the point of where his answer was, he's like, oh yeah, man, his writing's crazy. He's like, he had word bubble after word bubble after word bubble. He's like, we had to do all that, and like all his pages, all his dialogue was so good, went on forever, and we had to do all that, and
No, if you read and it's uh kind of it's a reborn again. There's a lot of word bubbles. Like Kevin Smith just writes dialogue and writes dialogue and just dialogue. There's no real like action pieces. It's like these long just trains of like dialogue. Like great though, as a fan, like it's probably Kevin Smith's best uh work on comic books.
well, knowing you've been around, just we've already shown that you know your history, but so I thought it'd be funny. The only memory I have of Amanda Connor, was funny. I threw this at her, and I'm like, I got a random one for you. She's like, yeah. I'm like, last time I met you, you signed a print of Gargoyles for me. She's like, oh wow.
I thought you said you didn't know Amanda Connor.
Other than that,
Oh, gotcha.
like I said, I randomly got a print from her that she signed for me 8 million years ago, and that was it. That's all I know of her stuff. I mean,
That's
I know of her relationship to Jimmy, but like,
yeah.
I don't know if that was just the tail end of what I was collecting, or she never did anything I liked. I have no idea. But it was just funny that like you just saw her reaction. She's like, wow, that must have been a long time ago.
That's awesome.
um, but yeah, it was a really good time. The On a little small side note, the cosplay for people that are into that at New York Comic Con is really good. Like, I think they do a better job in San Diego. Of the 3 years I've gone now, I think they were before maybe on par with San Diego, but now in this past year of 2022 of San Diego and 2022, this better. Like,
Really?
yeah, not necessarily creativity. I mean, some of it, like some people do some good mashups.
Hmm.
Some people just good. Like there was a Fantastic Four people that did, all four.
Hmm.
Amazing. Like I'm gonna put it on our Instagram. I'm just so mad because I got them on the very first day, and so it's kind of hard to describe. So the Java Center is like a glass greenhouse kind of thing. So it's got like
Right.
8 million windows. So the complete opposite of San Diego, which is just a fucking roof.
Right.
Um, but so when the sun changes, 10 in the morning, noon, whatever, the sun affects going through how you're going to get pictures. Or if you try to take pictures of people, you'll be hitting them right in the face, or you'll get shadows or whatever. My point of all this is I got this picture of these people that were amazing Fantastic Four. They had and they had a Victor Von Doom. So they didn't have a Human Torch, but they had a Victor Von Doom. Um,
Okay.
but the sun's kind of hitting them in a bad spot, and they're kind of blown out a little bit. Anyways, I just wanted a better picture so bad, and they had to go off to do something. I forget. They were like doing interviews for some booth or something. And the
Gotcha.
guy that was like their handler or whatever their friend, he's like, "Oh, they're gonna be around all 4 days. You'll be able to get pictures of them later." Never saw him again.
Damn.
And like, I even sent the picture to Dana, and like the guy that did the Ben Grimm thing, it's so good. It's so, like the way the rocks look, like I don't know. I'll have to send it to you. I'm gonna like I said, I'm gonna put it on our page. But the way he did it, just it looks so real. The way he did it doesn't look like styrofoam or anything. It looks like rocks. And then it's
That's
funny, he
awesome.
found a way to he like glued or however he made it a cigar in his hand. So he's literally walking around with a cigar in his hand. It looks
That's
good.
cool. That I like that. I like that attention to detail.
But yeah, it just I don't know. I think the variation of anime mashups, comics, movie people, whatever. Just I think the variety is better than in San Diego. Also, there's a lot of good group ones. Like I saw this one group of African Americans. It was I'm assuming a mother and father. Then they had like 3 or 4 kids, or maybe it was, I don't know, their cousin, maybe all 4 of their kids. I didn't stop to ask, but they were all dressed as I do not want to say it wrong while we're doing this. I'll feel like a freaking moron. But it was really cool because they did it all as a family. Oh yeah, they were all. Let's do this. You see it?
Kinda.
They're all Superman.
Oh, that's awesome.
Let's see, bring it back. Oh, well, I'm gonna put on.
I can kind of see. I like that.
But they're all Superman. So it's the mother, daughter, or mother, father, all the kids all dressed like Superman. So it's really cool. But just stuff like that. They do, like I said, so they do really. One year, last year when I went, there was, like I said, I don't know if it's a mother and her kids or whatever, but one of them did Pac-Man, and then the four were ghosts.
That's cool. I like that.
So just like I just feel that the creativity that they do at New York Comic Con is better. Like they seem to get more original instead of like, oh, here's our 400th Spider-Man and here's our 400th Batman. I mean, they do that too, but I've noticed more interesting choices. Still not better than WonderCon. WonderCon, I still think takes the cake of cosplay of any convention I've been to.
Gotcha. All right.
But can't think of much else. Oh, I mean, this has nothing to do with the convention, but if for some reason you think New York itself would have anything to do with it, no. All the people I've met were super nice, friendly, very talkative, very willing to. Everyone wanted. I met so many people online. I actually made some new Facebook friends and stuff online.
Cool.
Everyone was really happy, positive people. I didn't, I never saw any kind of like arguments with people or any really, even when sometimes shit was going down and like the autograph, the only thing I will say, yeah, is bad is the difference with San Diego, New York is New York does a massive amount of paid autographs with celebrities. 2021, it wasn't that big because obvious reasons. Like I said, they didn't do a lot. This year they expanded it huge. They had so many celebrities, anime, voice actors, Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd. They had the whole cast of Smallville was there, except for Rosenbaum.
Really?
Yeah. But they had like I said, Harvey Gann from What We Do in the Shadows. Ice-T was there with Coco. What the hell?
I mean, Law and Order.
Well, apparently he has a comic book out, or I think it was a comic book because he had a panel, but again on Sunday, my luck. So I missed it, but yeah, he was promoting a comic, I think. DMC for Run DMC was there. But anyway, they have a really Oscar Isaac was there, of course. Your show, Doom Patrol, Brendan Fraser, and what's the girl's name?
Which one?
Not Danielle, the other one.
Oh, let's see here. Doom Patrol. Let's see here.
Someone's saying it over us right now, but
April Bowley.
Okay, yeah, her and then the guy that plays Cyborg were all there.
Oh, Cyborg is Jovan Wade.
But yeah, so they were there. But anyway, so there's a wide variety of paid. There's wrestlers. Mick Foley was there. Like I said, they have voiceover actors and stuff.
Really?
But, that makes a huge difference with San Diego as well, because not only do you have artist alley, panels, signings, booths, exhibit floor, then you got the paid autographs and signings too. So there's just that's so much to do.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
But my point of all this is just like if anyone went to Star Wars Celebration that's listening to us, it was a freaking mess. The autographs wasn't bad because you just put them in your queues and people line up and buy their tickets or whatever, and it's fine. But the photos for the photo ops was just a disaster. I mean, they were running well late. They were running, over half hours late on some of them. They have like groups 2 or A and B or 2 and 3 or whatever. And they were like, the person in group B was sitting there waiting, and like someone with a totally different celebrity would be like, I was totally done with my Kristen Crook picture. My friend was still waiting for his picture with somebody else. And he was like, I was already done and through. My point is we started the same lineup at the same time, and our photo ops were about the same time. I was already done and through and sitting there waiting for him, and he was still sitting in line.
Damn.
So it was just, it was too many, I think, celebrities and too many photo ops going on at the same time, and they just couldn't keep up with keeping the machine going of the lines moving and getting them done in time. And it's like there's pictures that some of my friends took, and it's just you see a mob of just like 100, 200 people, and they're just crushed in there because like you're all just sitting there waiting because you have to wait for your group to get called, and you're just sitting there waiting. And if you can't walk away or come back later, like because when they call you group, you got to go. So, but like the thing is, you have all these groups of like dozens and dozens of people, and they're all just mashed. There's nowhere to put them. It's like, it's not like you have like a waiting room from there or anything. There's nowhere to put them. So they need to organize this better.
Good God. Okay.
Yeah, and a funny thing, at one point on Saturday, their printers died. So everyone was walking out of their photo ops, and they couldn't get their photos because the printers died.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was a lot of pissed off people. Because it was people that are like, oh, we'll just come back tomorrow and get it. They're like, yeah, I'm not here Sunday, or I don't have a Sunday badge. So it's like, how am I supposed to get my photo?
I wonder what they did.
I have no. I'm assuming they're gonna mail it to them. I guess. I don't know.
Oof. But if you got that picture to get signed that day,
yeah, there's a lot of people. That's the thing. A lot of people were like, so perfect example. People were taking photos with Oscar Isaac on Saturday. They had an autograph lined up for Sunday to get their photo signed. Couldn't do it because they didn't have their photo, and people were not happy. They were pissed off. So
I don't blame them.
Yeah. So not a perfect machine, but that was pretty much, one of the only glitches I saw with New York Comic Con. But that, I mean, I've seen it happen in Celebration. I've seen it happen at a lot of
even
Hollywood show. What?
Yeah, it happened at Compalooza, I think. Either this year or that last year where they had issues with their printer.
Well, no, I'm just saying the whole photo op thing.
Oh yeah.
Printer, like it seems to like when you get so many celebrities that are well known, so many people that want to buy them, it's just too hard to not make it a mess.
I know.
So, but another, like I said, that's another difference of that in San Diego, and I think it's a good thing that San Diego doesn't do it because I don't see where they could put that area even there. It would make it so much more that show's already chaos enough. I can imagine if they try to do paid photo ops and autographs.
No, that'd be a mess. Be a mess.
But anyways, that's that wonderful trip. I'm sure I forgot something or forgot to talk about something, but anyways. But tell everyone again where they can find your Toy Kind of Mood and you yourself on social media handles.
So all right, so Toy Kind of Mood, you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, let's see here. What is
You don't know your own handles?
Well, I think it's just a Toy Kind of Mood. Let me just double check here. But
I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize.
A Toy Kind of Mood on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, no Facebook. Although you can follow Travis Moody. He will inundate your page with our wonderful show.
He loves being friends with everyone. He's
a friendly type of guy. And then you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Twitter is RobBex2 and Instagram is ProBex.
Sweet. Yes. All right. And I am Derek. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Geek Potato. And of course, you can find the show Geekdom Fancast on hopefully all podcast platforms. If not, please let me know so I can try to find a way to figure out how to get it on there. We are also on at Geekdom Fancast on Twitter and Instagram. And I've already been putting up some New York Comic Con photos, and I'm going to keep it going until I'm out, which hopefully won't take me a month like it did with frickin' WonderCon. I never did finish my San Diego ones. I never got my Severance ones up. I still need to put those up. I'm going to have to do a throwback Thursday with those. But yeah, I've been putting up about a week straight of New York Comic Con ones so far. I'm going to keep those going, and hopefully I'll get it done soon. So there's that. But Mr. Bobby, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Joining the people. I don't know.
I'm one with the people. Of the people. I'm for the people.
We look forward to having you back on the show soon.
Yes,
all
definitely.
Right. And to everyone else, we will be saving a seat for you in the Empire stage for all those wonderful panels. And we will even have a hot dog and a pretzel sitting there waiting for you from New York because they're delicious.
They are.
Oh, one last thing. Guess what other thing New York has that San Diego does not? I just thought of one.
Great pizza?
Alcohol.
Oh.
Yes. You can go to the food court and they have full on things with beer, drinks, everything. So people are walking around with beers, and it's not like and it's not like it's just one room. Like you can walk around the convention with your freaking beer or your drink in your hand.
That's how it is here in Houston and Austin.
Well, because Texas is crazy.
Exactly, we like our alcohol.
But yeah, that I always forget that's also a big thing. Like how many people would
Although,
die for alcohol at San Diego Comic Con? People would love that.
yeah, but do you really want San Diego full of drunk assholes?
I'm not
No,
saying I'm necessarily pushing for it, but
I
I'm
know.
saying
I know
in
what
the
you mean.
sense of like pluses and minuses. Like if you gave people the option to drink at San Diego Comic Con, they would fully embrace it.
Oh yeah,
Like they
100%.
would make a crap load of money. I'm sure there's reasons why they don't have it, and I'm sure it has to do with California or the state or the convention center. Because for people that don't know, CCI runs Comic Con and Reed Pop runs New York, so completely different companies. They have nothing to do with each
Oh,
other. Yeah,
okay.
so I'm sure that's part of it also.
Yeah.
Anyways, but everyone take care. Hopefully we'll have some fanboy goodness for you guys soon, and thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon. Bye.
Peace.